Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks for joining me. Now today for my Try It Out Tuesday, we're going to use this stamp set from MFT and it's called Oh My Gostrich. Super cute. I think this is new to the MFT shop, but when I saw it I thought it was just adorable. So I thought we'd make a fun scene building card today. I took two of the largest ostrich in the stamp set. We're going to stamp that on a piece of Neenah 80-pound cardstock. I'm just using Memento ink because we'll color in our little ostrich with Copic markers. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit, play a little music while I color for you guys, and then when I'm done coloring, I will get you back. Okay, coloring is all done. I'm going to zoom back out and we're going to take some scissors and we'll just fussy cut each one of these cute little guys out. Now, I did leave a little bit of a white border, but these guys are super cute. Now, I wasn't sure what color ostriches are because there's black and white, so I looked online. And when I looked online, I found this guy. Isn't he the cutest? I didn't even know ostrich could be so cute, but I thought I would share that with you. That was my inspiration for coloring my ostrich. Okay, back to the card. I thought that would give you a nice little laugh. My ostrich has little hairs on top, so I'm going to take my scissors and just notch those out. We don't want the hairs. We're kind of going to create our own little hair for our ostrich. So I nipped off the stamped image of the hair. I'm going to flip them over and then using some score tape, I'm going to add a little bit of tape behind my ostrich heads. And then just using my craft pick, I'll remove the release paper. I thought we would add a nice little texture element to our project today. And so I have some twine, some natural colored twine in my stash. Any kind of twine you have would work great. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to fray the end. So I'm kind of going to untwist the twine so all the little threads are separated, and then I'll just take a small piece and adhere it behind my ostrich head here. So we're kind of replacing his hair with a wig. A nice little fluffy wig. I think this is super cute and it adds a really nice element to your cards. So there's my little ostrich. Super adorable. Okay, now we're going to work on our background. So we'll set these guys aside. Now I have two pieces of cardstock here. One is Strathmore Bristol, and then the other one is my Cougar Digital. It's a bright white, and against the Strathmore, you can see the color difference. The Strathmore is a little bit more of a creamy color. Now I'm going to take this frame die, and I'm going to cut out a frame in both the Strathmore and my white cardstock. Because I want to use the inside piece of the frame, but I want to use the Bristol Smooth because we're going to do some ink blending. And it just does work better versus my white cardstock. Okay, now I have another piece of white cardstock. I'm just going to use a piece of Post-it tape. And then using a circle die, I'm going to cut out a circle. If you have masking paper, you could do the same thing. But I thought this was less expensive, so I just used my Post-it tape. Okay, I'm going to try and carefully separate my my Post-it tape from the cardstock. I just added it to that so I could die cut it and it wouldn't stick to my plate there. Okay, we're going to add our little circle up on the top left corner. And then I have my Drifts and Hills stencil. we're going to create a few little hills in our background. So to do this, we're going to use some oxide inks, and this is why I used the Bristol Smooth cardstock. We're going to use some peeled paint and some twisted citron. Starting off with the peeled paint, I'm going to add a little bit of color to the top of my heel here. And then I'll just twist my stencil around, and then we're going to add some of the twisted citron. This adds dimension without adding dimension. And I didn't bring down my peeled paint far enough, so I just redid it. And then we'll go back over it with more twisted citron. And then I'm going to do one more heel. And for the bottom one, we're going to use a little bit of peeled paint. So we have a layer of peeled paint, twisted citron, and then more peeled paint. Okay, now I'm going to use my stencil, and I'm going to actually use one of my blending tools, add a little bit of color on another piece of Post-it tape, and I'm going to use this as a mask. So I'll just take my scissors and just trim out my mask, and then this way we can mask off our green heel on the bottom, and then we can color in our sky. That little circle, I wanted it to be a sunshine, and so I decided to pull this up and then use the negative piece. I'm going to be using dried marigold to create my little sun. We'll just add a little bit of color on the inside of our circle here, and then I'll use my mask and cover it up. Now when I added it, it was a little bit, it wasn't dry all the way, so my mask kept lifting up, so I had to press it down really good. Okay, for my background, we're going to use some tumbled glass. And I'm not doing anything fancy. In fact, I got a little bit of my green ink that was on my Post-it tape on my blending tool. So I have a little green, a two-tone with the green and the blue in the background. But we'll just remove our masks, and our background is ready to go. And you can see there's a little bit of an outline on my heel side and then also on my little sun. But I kind of like that effect, so it didn't bother me at all. I thought we would bring in a little bit of texture to our background heels by using a baby wipe. I just dabbed it on that Distress Oxide ink and pulled up some of that color, and it gave it a little bit of texture. Okay, so that's our background. I'm just going to use my heat gun to dry it. That way we can finish up on our project. Next, we're going to take our card base. Today's card base is an A2 size card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I'm going to lay down my background, and then using my tape runner, I'm going to, or my frame as a guide, I just taped down my background panel here. And since it was rounded corner, I thought we'd take the corner chomper here, and using the 1/2 inch side, I just rounded all my corners on my card today. A little different than a square card. Okay. Now we need to stamp our sentiment, so I'm going to use some versafine onyx black ink, and then I have a stitched banner die here. We're going to use that to cut out our sentiment. For today's card, I chose sentiment says keep your head up. I think we all need encouraging cards every once in a while, so this was a perfect sentiment for that. We'll just ink this up. And then I will tape down my banner die right over my sentiment. And then I wanted to bring in a little bit more white because I am going to leave my frame white. And so I thought we would bring in some white clouds. So these clouds are stitch clouds from MFT. These are nice too because they cut out the negative portion of the cloud and the positive with stitch lines. But I'm just going to use the regular clouds here. And now I'm going to do a little tucking under my frame, kind of positioning my clouds where I want them to go. And this the clouds I think just kind of brighten up my background too. Okay, once I have them positioned, I'm going to add a little bit of tape to my clouds. After I have them taped down, I'll take my frame and place it right over the clouds. This way the clouds will stick to my frame. And then I can flip my frame over and add foam tape behind it. And then this is going to give me a little dimension too. Okay, I covered the entire back with foam tape, and now I'm just taking my scissors and trimming off the excess. That's the clouds that are overhanging. And then we can take our frame and place it over our background scene. I was showing you I still had tape on my clouds, but the tape runner that I use, it's easy to just use your finger and kind of rub the excess away with no worries. But if your tape runner doesn't do that, some tape runners I know the adhesive really sticks. You could just use glue to attach your clouds to your frame. But mine comes up pretty easy. Okay, now we're going to add a piece of foam tape behind our sentiment. And originally I was going to place it to, I have a tendency to place sentiment towards the right, but my ostrich wouldn't fit. So we're going to kind of rework it a little bit. We're going to scoot our sentiment to the more towards the left here. Kind of position our ostrich where we want them to go. And then we will add some foam tape behind there and then pop them up. Okay, now just to give my heels a little bit more something, I'm going to take my Copic markers. I have my G99 and then my G43, and I'm going to add little blades of grass on each one of my little heels, just to give it a little extra something. Here's where I go in with my G43. And when I did this, it kind of looks like my little ostrich hair. So it kind of goes together pretty well. I was happy with that. For finishing touches, I'm using my glossy accents over the bill of my little ostrich nose, or actually I want to call them ostrich noses, but they're beaks. And then we're going to add a little sparkle to the clouds using my AQUA shimmer pen. And that finishes my card today, guys. That's my little ostrich scene building card, a super fun card. Great to have in your stash for encouragement. But I wish you a lovely day. Thank you so much for joining me. Links are down below in case you were interested on all the products that I used today. But have a fantastic day, guys, and we will see you again soon. Bye-bye.